The elf on the shelf incident. It started as a joke. My friend Sarah had dared me to bring my little brother's elf on the shelf into the old Hallstead Mansion. The place had been abandoned for decades, steeped in rumors of hauntings. People in town whispered about the family that vanished on Christmas Eve, leaving their presents unwrapped and a dinner table set for 6. Sarah called it seasonal vibes. I called it a dumb idea. But peer pressure, combined with a few too many holiday drinks, got the better of me. So, there I was, standing on the creaking front porch of the Hallstead Mansion, clutching the grinning elf on the shelf doll. Its plastic eyes seemed to gleam in the moonlight, as if it already knew something I didn't. Inside, the air was colder than the December night outside. The faint scent of pine and something metallic lingered, like the ghosts of Christmas past still clung to the rotting walls. Sarah, armed with her phone flashlight, led the way through the entry hall. "Let's put him in the dining room," she said, her voice echoing off the peeling wallpaper. "It'll be hilarious." I followed, gripping the elf tightly. The dining room was exactly as the stories described, a long table covered in a tattered, dusty red cloth. The remains of a candelabra stood in the center, its candles melted into grotesque, twisted shapes. Plates and silverware were still laid out, now rusted and tarnished. I placed the elf at the head of the table, propping him up in a chair like he was ready to deliver a holiday toast. "There," I said, brushing my hands off. "Can we go now?" Sarah grinned. "Not until we get a picture." She aimed her phone at the table and snapped a shot, but as soon as the flash went off, the temperature in the room plummeted. The windows, already frosted from the cold, frosted over completely, obscuring the moonlight. My breath came out in clouds as I backed toward the door. "Sarah," I whispered, "let's go." "Hold on, let me—" She stopped mid-sentence, staring at her phone. "What the—" She turned the screen toward me. The picture she'd just taken showed the elf sitting in the chair, but its position was wrong. Its head was tilted slightly, and its grin seemed wider, almost human. "That's not funny," I said, my voice trembling. "I didn't do anything," Sarah hissed. Before either of us could move, we heard it, the faint sound of sleigh bells jingling from somewhere upstairs. It was soft at first, almost cheerful, but it grew louder, faster, more erratic. The sound scraped against my nerves like nails on a chalkboard. And then came the footsteps. Heavy, deliberate thuds echoed down the staircase, one after another. Sarah grabbed my arm, her flashlight trembling in her hand. "We need to go," she whispered. But as we turned toward the door, the elf fell off the chair with a thud. Its plastic face smacked the floor, but it didn't stay there. Slowly, it began to sit up on its own, its painted eyes now gleaming red in the dim light. "Run!" Sarah screamed. We bolted out of the dining room and into the hall, but the jingling and footsteps followed. The sound was coming from everywhere now, above us, behind us, even from the walls. Sarah tripped over a loose floorboard, and I spun around to help her up. That's when I saw it. The elf was standing in the doorway we'd just come through, but it wasn't small anymore. It had grown, its limbs long and gangly, its grin stretching unnaturally wide. Its eyes locked onto mine as it tilted its head, almost curiously. "Stay back!" I yelled, though my voice cracked. I yanked Sarah to her feet, and we sprinted toward the front door. When we burst outside, the noises stopped. The air was still, and the only sound was our ragged breathing. We didn't stop running until we reached Sarah's car parked down the street. As we climbed inside, I dared to look back at the mansion. In the second-floor window, a figure was watching us, a small, grinning elf waving slowly with one spindly arm. We didn't speak the entire drive home. The next morning, I found the elf on the shelf sitting on my kitchen counter, its red eyes glinting in the sunlight. It hadn't been there when I went to bed. I haven't touched it since. But every night, I hear the faint sound of sleigh bells. Have you ever had a creepy experience with an elf on the shelf? Or maybe another holiday decoration gave you the chills? Share your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more eerie tales to keep you up at night.